Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of our comedy videos for CinemaFix. Last week we did all the classic comedies like Bob Hope and Chaplin and Bing Crosby, and yeah, it was quite a good show for last week. Oh yes, and Danny Kaye, and among the other classic comedians. But today we're concentrating on modern comedies, as I wanted to do it like a two-part. So last week we got part 1, and now we're going to do part 2. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Oh, before I start, I want to give a plug out for a website here. It's youget5teambuild.ws, and hopefully you can access the website and see what it's all about. And a friend of mine will be very happy to actually hear this on the show here. So yeah, when you can, go and check it out and see what you think. Now, onto our presentation here. The first movie that I got here is Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, and The Wedding Singer. And I'm sure, Sis, you've seen The Wedding Singer, right?
I think so.
Good speak, it's okay. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, The Wedding Singer. This is the totally awesome edition. So you might have a little bit of extras on as well, because it originally came out in '97. It was on a VHS tape, and then when they came out with the DVD, they got the totally awesome edition. See, you got Adam Sandler here, and you got Drew Barrymore. She's more of who I actually watched this for. Adam Sandler, like, he's okay, but he's an acquired taste for me, so I'm not really a major Adam Sandler fan. Although, if you ever see the movie Punch Drunk Love, you actually get to see more emphasis on his acting. Like, it's a dramatic film. It's very hard to describe. So you just have to take my word for it and see if you can seek out the film and find out for yourself. But yeah, this one more or less is it's a romantic love story, and it's a musical, because there's a lot of music in here too. And it's like about the 80s and a wedding singer. He's going to get married, and to put it simply, the wedding singer gets dumped by his girlfriend, and of course he's miserable with the whole thing. And meanwhile, this waitress, played by Drew Barrymore, actually helps him come up with new songs, and during the course of the movie she falls in love with him. But the complication is that she's also going to be married, and in something like a real true romantic story, in a lot of ways, which was also emphasized in classic cinema. You had a romantic story about two people that fell in love and amidst the circumstances. And yeah, this one is more, like I said, the circumstances come together, and then they, well, if you thought I was going to tell you the whole story, you can forget it, because I don't give spoilers on the show. You got to check it out and find out for yourself. But there it is, The Wedding Singer, totally awesome edition, awesome. Now we have this movie here called Employee of the Month. It has Dane Cook. I'm not too familiar with Dane Cook. I might have seen him on a few TV comedy shows. So Jessica Simpson, everybody knows her, singer, actress. Dax Shepard, he's done a few independent films, and he's quite funny too. And this one, again, is almost the same type as The Wedding Singer. He works in the store. He wants to try and be Employee of the Month as much as possible. She comes into the store. She's newly employed, so he tries to do everything to impress her, but the moral of the message is being yourself. And it's well acted, and I think and interesting, because it says the producers of The Wedding Crashers, which is not The Wedding Singer, but Wedding Crashers was a different movie, but it's very similar in theme to that. But yeah, when you get to the main part, it says where they all have to compete to see who's going to get Employee of the Month. That's a real fun thing. And in the midst of it, Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson's characters actually fall in love. But for the rest of the story, I can't really tell you, because again, I don't give spoilers. But I think it's a comedy you would enjoy if you have that romantic sense for comedy. If you want romance mixed in your comedy, it's perfect. Much like The Wedding Singer. Now, here's a really, really funny one here. Rat Race. You got an all-star cast. You got Rowan Atkinson, John Cleese, Whoopi Goldberg, Cuba Gooding Jr., of all people, Seth Green, yes, John Lovitz, Breckin Meyer, and the lovely Amy Smart. And more or less what these guys are, they go to Las Vegas on a vacation. Each of them have different circumstances and how they end up in Los Angeles. And what happens is they play a game, one of the slot machines, and they each get a coin, and they have to go into this room and meet John Cleese's character, who is a billionaire. And what the contest is, the ensuing contest, is they have to race to Silver City, New Mexico, and find a wad of money that's in a locker. And of course, it's like a movie I've got called It's a Mad World, where they had that similar thing, that they have to go to a certain area, there's a lot of money, so greed takes over, and everybody has to go on their way and get into all sorts of mischief and mayhem on the way. And it's incredibly funny. And yeah, but two of my favorite characters I really liked. I liked Amy Smart for obvious reasons. She's lovely. I like Rowan Atkinson because whether he's Mr. Bean or he's Enrico Pollini, which is the name of his character in the film, is hilarious. And John Cleese. John Cleese is very funny as the billionaire. Donald Sinclair, that was his name. And John Lovitz is great. There's a little bit, it might be a little homage to Hitler, but it's not done in an offensive way. It's actually very funny. And then you have John Lovitz, who's almost funny in any kind of film. And yeah, Seth Green is not too bad. Like, I mean, I think his comedy, it has to grow on you. Like, I mean, has anybody here seen Robot Chicken?
Yeah.
You seen Robot Chicken? So you're familiar with it. Dave, are you familiar with Robot Chicken?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys would know a little bit about the type of comedy Seth Green does. And Whoopi Goldberg, which is okay, but I mean, I've seen her in so many movies. I've seen her in so many movies, so after a while, it kind of like saturates on me. But my sister seems to like it. She's a Whoopi Goldberg fan. So
yeah.
So yeah, if you ever want a movie with a lot of laughs and an all-star cast, pick Rat Race. Rat Race. Because it is perfect. It is a race, and he hopes to win. Yeah, here's a movie here. Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher do a movie, which is a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Spencer Tracy and Sidney Poitier did that one with Katharine Hepburn. Here, it's sort of the opposite. Instead of the wife being white, the black husband. In this case, it's a white husband, or to be, introduced to a black family. And it's like a great remake, and Bernie Mac is incredibly funny as he is in most of his comedies, and I really liked Bernie Mac. Sadly, he passed away, I think, a few years back. Yeah, he was always hilarious. And, while it doesn't compare to the classic original, it is funny in its own way. And look for a very funny go-kart race from the movie. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to reveal anything about plots or anything like that because I don't want anybody to be spoiled. And yeah, that seems to be a theme today. Don't spoil the movie. Don't tell what's in the movie. Just tell roughly a little bit of a synopsis without going into everything that the movie entails. But Guess Who is another really good movie. Who's in it? Guess Who? Now, my sister said she didn't know what this was funny, but I had to put Johnny Depp's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, here's the thing. It's a dark comedy. In a sense, he sort of parodies Michael Jackson a little bit. I've actually been told that Depp's character is a lot like Michael Jackson. And you have Deep Roy, who is a very small actor. He's a small actor, but he's a little person, and he plays the Oompa Loompas.
Dobby.
The Oompa Loompas in the show. And of course, through computer generated imagery, he was able to play over 200 Oompa Loompas because they all happen to look like Deep Roy. Johnny Depp was pretty good in this one. Yeah, I actually thought, in a creepy type of way. It doesn't in any way compare to the original the original one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which was with Gene Wilder. And this one actually updates it a bit, and it was directed by Tim Burton, so expect a little bit more of the Burton weirdness that is in most of his films. And it's very colorful too. It's a colorful film because you have all the different, the chocolate and the different candy colors and stuff. If you want to get a golden ticket, and watch this movie, because they say it's a feast for the eyes and the imagination. Finally, here is one of my favorite films of all time. Everybody's probably going to hate me for this. Howard the Duck. Yes, a movie that has been around me through most of my teen years and adult years. And I had sisters that when I first bought this on videotape, they played it, I don't know how many times?
Don't look at me, I have an old new crybaby, not that.
Oh, you like the cry. You didn't really ruin my crybaby. But you played it a lot. But yes.
A night when I was sick.
This was a movie that was overplayed a lot, so I had to get about 2 or so copies of it afterward. So yes, I blame my sisters on that one. Yeah, but Howard the Duck is misunderstood because I actually thought it was funny. You know, what's not funny about a duck coming from another planet, coming to Earth and saving the universe from an evil force called the Dark Overlord? And I'll have to admit, the first time I saw this movie was for one reason, and that was Leah Thompson as Beverly. Because who didn't fall in love with Leah Thompson?
Yeah.
She was such a fantastic actress, too. I don't just emphasize her looks. She's a fantastic actress, worked very hard, and actually she enjoyed, believe it or not, contrarily to popular belief, she actually enjoyed her time on the movie itself. For years, this movie, people thought it blacklisted a lot of the actors that played in it, but Mel Brooks was really nice. He actually said, anybody that played in Howard the Duck could be in my movie. And Howard isn't one of your typical Marvel movies. It's like, well, now he's actually in the current lexicon of the Marvel universe, but it's, in one sense, it started off right here. And George Lucas was in it. Some people said that, well, he was the producer of it. It was directed by Gloria Katz and Willard Height, but he actually later admitted that there were some things he enjoyed about it, but at the same time he wanted to distance it himself from it because, you know, the Star Wars phenomenon that was going on, and, you know, Star Wars was such a successful picture, so he was like, oh, Howard the Duck, I don't know. Yeah, you almost think it was just as ostracized as the Star Wars Holiday Special. Yes, George, that movie actually did exist. Just so you know, the Star Wars Holiday Special. We'll get into that maybe in a future edition. But yeah, Howard the Duck, there's nothing wrong about it. People still talk about it to this day, and people still watch it. So yes, I would strongly recommend seeing Howard the Duck. Well, what can be more be said about modern comedy? Like, while classic comedy was great, you have modern comedy which has its own uniqueness, and I like it all. I like the current comedy, as I find comedy is what I call the fun genre. You get to sit there and laugh for about 2 hours, and it takes you away from your troubles. So, for now, we want to thank you very much for listening today, and putting up with me, and putting up with my voice, and all that, so you get to hear me all the time in these shows. And I want you to hopefully like and subscribe. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you write the comments, because we got to hear some comments. I'm back doing this full time again, so you know, I got to hear some comments. Just don't say that hopefully not too bad. And just stuff that I can possibly improve if I need to. But in the meantime, this is Paul Westbrook, Brantford's film enthusiast, reminding you that I'll be seeing you at the movies. Bye for now.